Okay, morning and welcome to the first edition of the Sunday Business Post podcast. It's October 30th, and our first story this morning is the headline story. So the government is set to slash growth forecast for 2012. It's a piece by Pat Leahy and Cliff Taylor. The main bullet points at the top of the article are economy predicted to grow by about 1.5%. Tax revenue cut to offset lower EU IMF borrowing costs. Some increase is expected in the €3.6 billion budget savings target. The government will this week slash its growth forecast for next year as it embarks upon a series of set-piece events, culminating in the budget on December 6th, which will see the coalition firmly put its stamp on the austerity programme. Minister for Finance Michael Noonan will publish his medium-term fiscal plan on Friday, in which he will set out the budgetary adjustments required for the next 3 years. The document will be the sequel to the last government's 4-year plan and will slash growth forecasts because of the international slump and continuing domestic weakness. The previous forecast that gross domestic product will rise by 2.5% next year is likely to be cut to around 1.5%, meaning that estimates for tax revenue growth will also drop. This is expected to wipe out the gains next year from the lower interest rates negotiated on the EU IMF loans. However, the savings to be found in next year's budget to meet the borrowing target of 8.6% of GDP will not rise substantially from the €3.6 billion target already indicated. Sources involved in the process at government level do not believe the budget package will reach €4 billion and expect that a figure of around €3.8 billion may be indicated, though the Cabinet will have to decide on this at a meeting before Friday's announcement. The document will indicate that 2/3 of the required savings will come from lower spending and 1/3 from higher taxes, compromise between the pre-election positions of the two government parties. Friday's event will be followed in the coming weeks by a series of announcements on capital spending cuts, public sector reforms and public spending cuts under the Comprehensive Spending Review before the 2012 budget is finally announced in early December. Government Buildings has been drawing up a political and communication strategy for the coming weeks, which administration insiders believe will be a crucial period in the term of the Fine Gael Labour coalition. In government circles, the next 5 weeks are being seen as the period in which Fine Gael and Labour take ownership of the EU IMF bailout and of the austerity policies it entailed. However, that period will begin awkwardly on Wednesday when the former Anglo-Irish Bank, now the Irish Bank Resolution Corporation, repays a bond valued at $1 billion, around €770 million. The government had repeatedly promised to renegotiate the Anglo bond repayments, but high-level sources have now conceded that these efforts are at an end, and that the priority now is to secure reductions in the interest rate on the funds given to Anglo to repay its bonds on other liabilities. That was the first podcast, and I hope you enjoyed it, and tune in next week for more.